Today in this show, I'm going to be talking about some comics for Halloween that other people might not necessarily recommend. Halloween is probably my favourite holiday by far. We don't really do trick-or-treating in England, but what I'm going to be doing is spending the day watching Beetlejuice on repeat and reading a whole bunch of comics. And on the Saturday before Halloween, I would be going to my local comic shop, but unfortunately London MCM Expo is on and I've kind of got to go to that. You see, on the Saturday before Halloween, there is Halloween Comic Fest, which is kind of like free comic book day, but not as many stores participate. There's not really as many comics, but it's still a chance to get free comics. I've put a link to Halloween Comic Fest down below so you can use their store finder to find your closest store that is participating in Halloween Comic Fest. And I've also put links to mycomicshop.com down below to all the comics that I will be talking about today. The first comic that we're going to be talking about is Jack Kirby's The Demon. Now this series is about a demon called Etrigan, who's neither really good or bad, although he tends to sway to the side of good most of the time. This demon is incredibly violent. This was probably the most violent series around in the 1970s when it was released. Etrigan is incredibly powerful even for demons. He has super strength, which has also been magically enhanced, making him stronger than Superman, Wonder Woman, you name it. He is stronger than them. Being from hell, he can use hellfire, and he has the broadest range of magic in the entire DC universe. And to top all of this off, he has a healing factor. So this character is really badass. Etrigan the Demon is probably my favorite creation by Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby, for all of you that don't know, and you really should know, is the guy that really created the Avengers, Fantastic Four. Anything with Stan Lee's name on it, Jack Kirby probably did it. There's a whole controversy around that, and I'm not really going to get into it because, again, deep dark rabbit hole. Really dark, really dank, slightly moist. As you can tell, Jack Kirby is an amazing writer. Anything he wrote while he was alive was amazing. And you can kind of consider him the grandfather to modern day indie comics. You see, indie comics don't really have a limit to them, and Jack Kirby didn't really have a limit to his creations. He just followed his imagination, and that's exactly what indie comics do these days, and that's what comics should be. Down below, I've put links to an Amazon.com collected edition of the Etrigan comic, and I've also linked mycomicshop.com links to the monthly issues, but they're kind of expensive, but they're really good if you kind of want to get into collecting more expensive comics. I personally don't do that because I don't see the point in it, but if you want to do it, the link is there. And I do want to mention Jack Kirby's The Demon was the series that Klarion the Witch Boy first appeared in, which brings me on to my next series. Seven Soldiers Klarion. Now I like the Seven Soldiers a lot more than most people do for some reason. I don't know, it just kind of really resonated with me. But the one that resonated with me the most has always been Seven Soldiers Klarion. Now this series is about a witch boy named Klarion. Now the witch people are witch men, witch women, and witch boys and witch girls, and they all live in this town called Limbo Town. And they have this puritanical society, but instead of following God and Jesus, they follow necromancy. Klarion doesn't quite fit in. He questions things a lot, which people obviously look down on in puritanical societies. And he really just doesn't want to follow their teachings. He wants to explore and learn things for himself. This series has magic, intrigue, everything that you could want. And it also shows while monsters are scary, people are scary too. You should be scared of people in your everyday life just as much as you're scared of monsters under the bed. This is also my favorite incarnation of Klarion, so if you're only going to get one thing from this list, get this because it's my favorite incarnation of Klarion ever. Next we have an indie comic. It's called Locke and Key and it comes from IDW and it's written by Joe Hill, the son of Stephen King. This series is incredibly hard to explain. I really just couldn't script it in a way that it was cohesive. You just need to know that it's really inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, so if you're kind of into Lovecraft, you will love this. This series follows the Locke children, but there's also flashbacks through the eyes of other characters. It's a lot of fun, really scary, perfect for Halloween. If you love Lovecraft, pick it up. Sorry that review was kind of vague. I really don't want to spoil much about this series, and it's hard to really review Locke and Key without spoiling anything about it.
It's super effective!
Okay guys, that is it for today. What comics would you recommend for Halloween? Please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon so I can make bigger and better and more history videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.